All right, let's dive straight in. If you're a football fan, you know that feeling right now, that hum in the air, the constant notifications, um, the sheer volume of what if coming at you.
Oh, yeah.
It's transfer season, and it's absolutely buzzing.
It truly is a unique time. The pace of news is, well, relentless. And every report, every whisper, it feels like it could be the start of something huge.
Huh?
Or maybe nothing at all.
Exactly. And that's sort of the perfect way to think about what we're doing today. We've taken a stack of reports, football gossip, speculation, insider claims specifically from June 2nd, 2025.
Right, just a snapshot.
Yeah, snapshot. These reports are compiled from various football news outlets, giving us a glimpse of what was making waves on that particular day.
And our mission isn't really to confirm anything, is it? Or predict the future. It's more to unpack these specific reports, pull out the most significant bits, and help you understand the pulse of the rumor mill as it stood on June 2nd.
What were the big stories? What deals were being talked about? That kind of thing.
Because, let's be honest, this kind of news moves so fast, it's highly speculative, and boy, does it stir up debate among fans.
Oh, absolutely. It's exciting, sometimes frustrating, definitely chaotic. Part of the football calendar. So no time to waste. Let's just jump right in. What were the headlines on June 2nd?
Okay, kicking off with the stories that really seem to dominate the conversation based on these reports.
Yeah.
We saw potential major movements linked with some of the Premier League's biggest names.
Yeah.
Manchester United, Liverpool, Chelsea. They were the clubs appearing again and again at the top of the rumor pile that day.
Okay, let's unpack the biggest ones first then. Manchester United seemed heavily featured, particularly about someone coming in up front.
Yes, exactly. The reports highlighted pretty strong speculation around the Brentford forward, Bryan Mbeumo. He's 25, Cameroon international.
Right.
And the core rumor circulating was that he wants a move to Manchester United.
Wants to move, that's quite specific, isn't it? That detail reported, it sort of shifts the focus from just club interest to what the player allegedly wants.
It does, yeah. And it's a detail fans often pick up on immediately. The report suggested that, based on this, talks were expected to open soon between United and Brentford.
Okay.
That specific claim about Mbeumo's desire and those impending talks was attributed to The Athletic, though it was noted as being behind a subscription paywall.
Right.
But it's a great example of how player agency, or at least the perception of it, immediately fuels the whole narrative.
Absolutely. Now, shifting gears, another potential big money deal. Liverpool were linked with a really exciting young midfielder.
Ah, yes, this was a major one in the reports. Florian Wirtz, the 22-year-old German midfielder from Bayer Leverkusen, obviously had a fantastic season.
Incredible season.
And the report, this one from Bild in Germany, it contained a really striking detail. Liverpool had reportedly agreed a contract with the player until 2030.
Wow, okay. Agreeing personal terms is usually... Well, that's a significant hurdle cleared.
Yeah.
So if that part of the report is true, what's the catch? What's the complication?
Well, the big complication is the clubs. They haven't agreed. While the player might apparently be on board, according to this report, Bayer Leverkusen has reportedly rejected Liverpool's initial offer.
Ah, okay. Were there figures mentioned?
Yes, the figures cited in Bild were Liverpool bidding 130 million euros, which is, around 110 million?
How about that? Yeah.
While Leverkusen is apparently holding out for 150 million euros, so roughly 127 million.
So a 20 million gap.
Yeah.
On a massive 9-figure valuation. Wow, that kind of reported detail really brings the negotiation dynamics into focus, doesn't it? Even just the rumor stage.
It certainly does. It tells you both clubs see him as a truly top-tier talent, commanding an absolutely elite price. And that reported 150 million figure. I mean, that places Wirtz in a very select group of young players globally. Reflects his age, his talent, that long contract. It shows Leverkusen's strong position, definitely.
And Liverpool's ambition, too, if they're willing to go that high, potentially.
Exactly. This kind of detail, even unconfirmed, gives us some insight into market valuations for these potentially generational talents.
Fascinating stuff. And the third major club featuring in these sort of headline reports was Chelsea, looking at strengthening their defense.
That's right. The reports, including one from Team Talk, suggested Chelsea was reportedly considering a move for Everton center back Jarrad Branthwaite. 22 years old, English, had a fantastic season, really impressed a lot of people.
He really did stand out. Was there any reported competition for him?
Yes, the report specifically mentioned Tottenham could rival Chelsea for Branthwaite this summer.
Ah, okay. So potentially a London bidding war for the young defender adds another layer to that rumor.
Definitely. And that's pretty common in transfer reporting, isn't it? Linking multiple interested clubs
Mm.
helps gauge market demand, potential price increase, all that.
Right, makes sense.
Okay, so we've got Mbeumo linked with United, Wirtz with Liverpool personal terms reportedly agreed, but clubs apart on the fee and Branthwaite on Chelsea's radar, with Spurs apparently also interested. Those were the kind of potential blockbusters being reported on June 2nd.
And speaking of Manchester United, the reports actually went beyond just Mbeumo. There was quite a bit of other potential activity linked with Old Trafford that day.
It seems United's rumor mill was really working overtime on June 2nd then. What else was being reported?
Well, there was a slightly surprising report concerning Rasmus Højlund.
Oh,
The 22-year-old Denmark forward only arrived relatively recently, of course. He was reportedly a target for Inter Milan, apparently hoping to sign him on loan this summer.
a loan move. For Højlund, that does feel a bit counterintuitive given his status and recent signing. What do you make of that kind of report?
It's certainly one that raises eyebrows, highlights the speculative nature of all this, really. Could be Inter just exploring options, maybe an agent-driven rumor.
Doesn't necessarily mean it reflects United's immediate plans, but, its appearance in a reputable Italian source like Gazzetta dello Sport means it was part of the conversation on that day. Shows how fluid transfer plans can seem, or at least how they're reported.
Fair enough. And what about the captain, Bruno Fernandes? His future was mentioned too.
Yes, the reports noted that the 30-year-old Portugal midfielder's decision, whether he stays at United or seeks a move, is awaited. There's reported interest from Al Hilal in Saudi Arabia. Sky Sports was cited for that one.
That's a significant one. The captain's potential departure would obviously have huge ramifications for the club's strategy, the mood. This kind of report, focusing on a key player's potential decision, really impacts fan discussion.
Absolutely. It's a big piece of the puzzle that needs clarity, really, for United's summer plans to properly solidify.
And was there another striker linked with United in these reports, besides Mbeumo?
There was, yeah.
Yeah.
Crystal Palace's Jean-Philippe Mateta, 27-year-old French forward, also reportedly on Manchester United's striker shortlist. However, the reports, including one again from Team Talk, indicated potential competition from Juventus and AC Milan for him, which just shows clubs often have multiple targets for one position.
Right, hedging their bets. So just for United on this one day's reports, Mbeumo wanting a move, Højlund linked with a surprising loan exit, Bruno Fernandes' future uncertain with Saudi interest reported, and Mateta as another potential striker target. That's a lot of forward line speculation for one club in a single day.
It really underscores the sheer volume, doesn't it? The potential activity being reported. And moving beyond just United, the June 2nd reports covered a whole range of other potential deals across different clubs. Give us a broader picture of the market rumor mill.
Okay, let's touch on some of those other noteworthy potential moves being discussed then. Back to Liverpool for a sec, apart from Wirtz, another key attacking player was linked with an exit.
That's right. Reports, notably from Florian Plettenberg, indicated that Barcelona has reportedly started initial talks with Liverpool winger Luis Diaz. He's 28, Colombian.
Okay, Barca interest.
Yeah. And interest from Saudi Arabia was also mentioned as a possibility for him, too.
So potential huge incomings and significant potential outgoings being reported for Liverpool on the very same day. Busy.
Precisely. And it's often the case, isn't it? Potential exits discussed alongside potential arrivals. Player sales can help fund new signings, that sort of thing.
Makes sense. And Chelsea wasn't just linked with Branthwaite. Another young English winger was on their radar, according to these reports.
Yes, Chelsea reportedly weighing up a move for Borussia Dortmund's winger Jamie Gittens, 20 years old, English.
Yeah, yes.
The reports, one from The Guardian included, cited a potential cost around $50 million.
$50 million for a 20-year-old. It really shows the premium on promising young English talent, especially those playing abroad. That's a significant fee being reported there.
It certainly is. And speaking of Dortmund and young English talent.
Let me guess. The younger Billingham brother, Job.
Exactly. The reports from Bild in Germany stated that 19-year-old Joby Bellingham has reportedly chosen to join his brother Jude's former club, Borussia Dortmund.
Interesting choice.
Apparently picked them over other German sides like Eintracht Frankfurt and RB Leipzig. Dortmund reportedly expected to start talks with Sunderland to make that move happen.
Following in this very big footsteps. That adds a nice sort of narrative angle to the transfer speculation, doesn't it? A player deliberately choosing a club known for developing English talent.
It's certainly a compelling story if it actually materializes. And then moving over to the blue side of Manchester, City were also linked with a significant midfield signing.
Oh, yeah. Who was that?
Manchester City was reportedly close to agreeing a deal for AC Milan and Netherlands midfielder Tijani Reinders. He's 26.
Reinders, okay.
The reports, including one from Football Italia, suggested this deal could be wrapped up relatively quickly, potentially even in time for the FIFA Club World Cup, which starts June 14th over in the U.S.
Right. Getting business done early before tournaments kick off, that's a common strategy. Avoid complications or inflated prices later on. Makes sense that reported move for Reinders fits that pattern. And another striker, potentially on the move, maybe linked with a return to England, Alexander Mitrovic.
Yes, the reports indicated that Al Hilal in Saudi Arabia is reportedly prepared to offload the 30-year-old Serbia striker.
Okay. Any potential takers mentioned?
Yeah, potential interested clubs mentioned in reports like TalkSport included Everton, Manchester United again, and West Ham.
Mitrovic back to the Premier League would be intriguing, wouldn't it? Especially after how prolific he was at Fulham. It shows the ripple effects from the Saudi League too, attracting players, but also potentially moving them on again.
It adds another dynamic to the market, absolutely.
And lower down the pyramid, there was a championship club linked with a young prospect.
Brighton, yeah. Reportedly keeping tabs on Sheffield United midfielder Ollie Arblaster. He's 21, currently recovering from an ACL injury.
Right, serious injury.
Yeah, but reports from Team Talk highlighted Brighton's interest. Shows that clubs are often scouting long-term prospects, even when they're sidelined, planning ahead.
That really demonstrates the depth of scouting and planning that goes on behind the scenes. And finally, among these reports from June 2nd, a manager rumor.
Indeed. Bit different. The reports stated that former Arsenal and England midfielder Jack Wilshere, still only 33, is the reported frontrunner for the manager job at Plymouth Argyle in League One.
Wilshere to Plymouth. Interesting.
That news came via The Sun. From midfield maestro to potential manager at a League One club, that's a fascinating career path being reported.
It is. And manager appointments, while not player transfers themselves, are another crucial piece of the summer jigsaw, aren't they? Often influencing recruitment plans down the line.
Totally. So, as you can see, just from the reports compiled on a single day like June 2nd, the volume and variety of potential activity across the football world is, well, enormous.
Yeah.
From potential record-breaking deals for young stars to loan moves, veteran strikers, youth prospects, even manager jobs. It's all in there.
And this kind of brings us to the heart of why following this news is so captivating, but also why it's often viewed with, a dose of skepticism.
Yeah. Definitely skepticism.
These reports, while often based on information from sources close to clubs, players, agents, whatever, they are ultimately speculation.
Exactly. They aren't official announcements. They are reports about interest levels, negotiation positions, player desires, club valuations, and all of that can change, literally in an instant, based on new developments.
Yeah, that reported 150 million asking price for Wirtz. Leverkusen could meet it, they could lower it, Liverpool could just walk away entirely, who knows?
Precisely. Reported fees can fluctuate wildly, interest from other clubs can appear or disappear overnight, player preferences might shift. This sort of fluid nature is why the transfer window is so unpredictable.
And why these daily reports are so debated by fans. They shape expectations, don't they? Fuel discussions online, create that constant sense of anticipation.
It's the drama of the almost and the could be.
Yeah. And keeping up with this volume of fast-changing information, sorting through which reports seem maybe more credible than others, just tracking everything, it can feel pretty overwhelming.
It absolutely can, which is why reports like the ones we're discussing today, the ones that compile the latest football gossip from various sources, are actually quite valuable. They give you that consolidated view, that snapshot of the day's rumor mill, allows you to quickly grasp what's being reported right now without having to sift through countless individual articles across loads of different platforms.
They provide that crucial overview. And if you're interested in diving deeper into these specific news reports we've talked about, and many others like them, seeing the claims for yourself,
you can find these sorts of compiled reports covering the latest football gossip from a wide range of sources, just like the ones we've been discussing today, over at eplnew.org.
Right. They offer that centralized point to see what the different outlets are reporting. So looking back at just this single day, June 2nd, the sheer scale of reported potential moves is pretty remarkable, involving major players, huge fees, clubs across different leagues.
It really drives home that the transfer window is a period defined by intense speculation and just constant swirling rumors. What we've discussed today is just one day's worth of that activity.
And remember, the dynamic nature of this market means today's really strong rumor could be tomorrow's forgotten link. Or, it could be the first step towards an actual done deal.
So, if you want to read these specific news reports and stay on top of the next wave of rumors, speculation, and eventually, hopefully, some confirmed deals.
These news reports and more are available to read at eplnews.org.
So, as you think about everything we've covered from this single day's batch of reports, here's maybe a question to leave you with. Considering how fluid the transfer market is, out of all the potential moves we've discussed from June 2nd's reports, how many do you realistically think will actually happen this summer?
Good question. And maybe how does immersing yourself in all this gossip and speculation shape your own excitement, your predictions, or maybe even your anxiety for the season ahead?
Something to consider, definitely.